A food chain is the sequence of events in an ecosystem in which one living organism eats another organism, which is then eaten by a larger organism. A food chain is the movement of nutrients and energy from one creature to another at different trophic levels. A new trophic level is formed when one animal is consumed by another. The sun is the very beginning of the food chain. It is where all the energy originally comes from. The food chain is made up of 3 different types of living organisms. The first type of organism is producers. All autotrophs, such as phytoplankton, cyanobacteria, algae, and green plants, are producers in a food chain. Producers, also known as autotrophs, are organisms that produce their own food. Any plant or other organism that produces its own nutrients through photosynthesis is referred to as a producer. The second type is consumers. All species that rely on plants or other organisms for nourishment are considered consumers. Because it encompasses practically all living species, this is the greatest part of a food web. It contains herbivores, animals that eat plants, carnivores, animals that eat other animals, parasites, animals that live on other organisms by hurting them, and scavengers, animals that devour the carcasses of deceased animals. Decomposers are creatures that obtain energy from dead or discarded organic matter. This is the final link in the food chain. Decomposers transform organic waste materials into inorganic materials like nutrient-rich soil or land, making them an important part of the food chain. A food web is made up of several interrelated food chains. A food web is comparable to a food chain, except that a food web is far broader than a food chain. A single organism is occasionally consumed by a large number of predators, or it consumes multiple other organisms. Many trophic levels become intertwined as a result of this. The food chain doesn't do a good job of displaying energy flow. However, because it depicts interactions between diverse organisms, the food web is able to demonstrate the accurate representation of energy flow.